It's very important in our lives to recognize the difference between that of the world and that of the Spirit. Because in the worldly ways of thinking, something might go wrong, and we say that that's wrong. In spiritual thinking, we might say that that's something, but it's right. What I mean by this is when we set our heart and our mind on worldly things, money, relationships, materialism, we end up falling into the ways of worldly behavior. We let emotions like greed, pride, ego, sadness, anxiety fill our lives and fill our heart. And we allow these worldly thoughts and ideas to say, well, you're not successful unless you have this, or you're not this unless you have this, or this is wrong and this is right, and all of life is just simple ideas and thoughts that we are inputted in our entire lives when we grow up, when we live life. The more conversations we have, the more news we watch, the more things we see. All it is programming into our brain to keep us trapped in this cycle of not being able to have the discernment and the conviction to know the abundance and the happiness and the joy that comes from the life that we experience is nothing more than the love and the soul and the spirit within ourselves. And when we start to shift our mind and we start to practice and we start thinking of life and resting in the Spirit, what do I mean by this? Being able to see things for what they are without attached emotional perspectives. When something goes wrong and when I have people calling me, or there's an issue or I lack clarity in some light or another, I'm constantly asking myself, am I at home? What do I mean by this? I've started to think about these two ways of life because we're constantly pulled back and forth. We constantly find ourselves falling into the flesh, falling into the world, feeling like we're behind. I'm behind. I need to do this. I need to do this. We're restless. There is no peace. And I ask myself, Justin, where's home? Home is within the Spirit. In this third dimensional world that we live in, we can only conceptualize when we are in the flesh of the world around us. Anxiety, stress, emotions, feelings, all of these things are the normal ideas that the world has put onto us when we have certain things that go on in our life. But when we rest in home, what is that? It's knowing that success and the abundance in which we have is within ourselves. And we can pull from it if we rest in that state. I've realized very early on in my life that this really isn't about money. It's not about accomplishments. It's not about doing any of these things. It's about knowing where home is. Home is not here. Home is not, it's not this. It's this. And this is a freeing and euphoric experience. When we attach our worth to the ideas in which the world has set onto us, saying that you're not anybody because you compare to this person's got way more than you and this person has a better relationship than you, and it's always lack. We're always operating out of a sense of lack. We lack this and we lack this. Look what this person has. Look what I don't have. And the thing is we choose to do this. We choose to do this. But we must understand what is reality and what is the best for us, because what most people think, and again, we have to pull our brain strings here to be able to think in this higher state that is available to us. In the Bible, it says, 1,000 years is like a day, and a day is 1,000 years. The idea of time and space, the third dimension, our flesh, we are nothing more than bodies with souls inside. And that's why I say that this is not our home. Our home is within here. And when we set our heart and our perception and our brain and the mind on how we view the world as this and not this. All of this is lies. All of it is lies. Is it's saying you don't have enough. You aren't this person. You need to achieve this. And all this does is give us a sense of anxiety, stress, and it makes the timeline in front of our face and giving us this idea of time and space because we're behind. We need to do this. We need to do that. And when we reposition and we can see the world through the perspective of abundance, we're able to see it for what it truly is. We're able to point out all these false ideas. And when the things happen in our brain, in our mind, when something goes wrong, we're able to say, I won't give that power. I'm able to see it for what it is without any emotional attachment to it. Something goes wrong, we'll keep going. Something goes right, great. But the difference is I'm not resting my heart and giving it power within what gives me my abundance and what gives me my love and what gives me the fullness and the overflowing of love and empathy and abundance that I can experience throughout my walk in this world. And my goal with making videos like this is to share this truth and share this light and life that everybody has the power to experience. We just have to test our ideas. We have to go a level deeper. We have to ask another question after the last question that we think is the last question, but in reality, there's another question after it. What is right? When people say, this is what's successful and this is the right way. Okay, well, what is right? Right and wrong is nothing more than the worldly perception of it. We must ask ourselves these questions. We must let ourselves chew on these worldly ideas and spit them out once we realize that the seed in the middle is rotten. We eat of the world's fruits to find it's rotten in the middle. But when we eat of the spiritual fruits, we find that it's everlasting. So what I ask of you is within your life and your journey to success and your journey to whatever you want to accomplish, do not set your worldly passion and your heart in these things. Operate from spiritual perspective. In abundance, knowing that everything that you desire is here and now. Success is not in the future. It's not when you do something. It's not when you achieve something. It's right now. I don't need anything. You don't need anything. We don't need anything. We have it all. And when we perceive the world and look at this world of knowing we have it all, we're able to operate from clarity, abundance, empathy, love. And we can share that and serve the world. When we fall into worldly things, we become selfish, we become prideful, and that leads to a hardened heart. So we must practice spiritual endurance. God puts us in situations and environments to build our spiritual endurance. Fall in love with this journey. Fall in love with loving God and loving the Spirit. And seeing these things for what they are. Do not let them control you. Know that you have power over all things through Christ. I wish you all the best.